In the beginning, the human mind was still silent. The outside world was full of sound, light, and danger, but inside, an unknown silence still flowed, until the first man closed his eyes for the first time and saw an image. In a heart of darkness, he encountered a world that was not real, but to his mind it felt more real than any reality. He saw himself in other places, in other times. He saw himself running, fighting, laughing, dying, and waking up again. This was the first dream experience, and at that moment the human mind separated two worlds for the first time, the outside world and the inside world. Dreams confronted the human mind with a concept that was previously unknown. Something can exist without being in reality. This simple perception became the basis of the first symbolic thought and human imagination. Early humans could not understand the boundary between sleep and wakefulness. For him, dreams were an extension of the reality he experienced during the day. If he talked to an animal in his dream, it was real to him. If he saw someone who had died in his dream, he believed that their soul had returned. In the midst of this ambiguity, the first philosophical questions were formed. If I dream, then who sees inside me? Is there something in me that is separate from the body? And if there is, can it survive death? With dreams, the human mind was freed from the bonds of the physical world. In dreams, he could fly, travel back in time, or speak with fire. This freedom was the first spark of human imagination and creativity, the root of what later became art, fiction, religion, and philosophy. Dreams showed man that the world is not only what the eye sees. Behind reality, there is another layer of experience, where fears, hopes, and memories take the form of images, and man, faced with it, felt that his mind was a gateway to a hidden world. Over time, early humans shared their dreams with others. Each person recounted his dream, and the tribe tried to understand its meaning. Gradually, dreams became a common language among minds, a language in which each image was a sign of something greater. For early man, dreams were not just an experience in sleep. They were a kind of contact with the other world, a world in which death, time, and reality had other laws. And this new awareness was man's first step on the path to understanding himself. He understood that within himself was an infinite world, a world of image, sound, and meaning. And from this understanding emerged the first spark of the philosophy of mind and the concept of the soul.
Once the mind of early man became familiar with dreams, there was no turning back. Every night, in the darkness, he stepped into a world full of meaning, but meanings he did not understand. In his sleep, animals spoke, fires came to life, mountains roared, and rivers murmured secrets. When early man woke up, he tried to understand what he had seen, but he had no words for it. He only felt that something beyond the material world was at play. In the midst of this search, the first myths were born. He said that these dreams might be messages from greater forces, from spirits, from the sky, or from things hidden deep within the earth. Gradually, dreams became a language between man and the unknown. When the hunt was successful, he would say, "The spirit of the animal gave me permission in a dream." When a storm was coming, he believed, "The god of the wind warned me in a dream." And so, dream and myth intertwined. Dreams became not just images of the mind, but maps of meaning. Each image carried a sign of an unseen world. People sat around the fire and told each other their dreams. And from the stories, common patterns emerged. Powerful beings, celestial gods, guardian spirits, and dark enemies. These stories, at first, were just reflections of the dream. But they gradually became sacred stories, myths that explained the world, gave order, and calmed fear. Within the dream, man encountered cosmic forces: death, birth, fire, rain, the stars. He saw that all these were connected in a hidden world, and this understanding was the beginning of the concept of the sacred world. Dreams made man understand that everything external had an inner meaning. An animal was not just an animal, it was a symbol. The mountain was not just a mass of rock, it had a soul. Fire was not just heat, it was the voice of the gods. From here, art was born. The cave paintings were a reflection of the dreams that were imprinted in the human mind. He wanted to fix the inner images on the outside, so that others could see that hidden world. Thus, myth was in fact the collective dream of humanity. The world that the minds of early humans created in the night, gradually in the day, became culture, belief, and ritual. And as the dreams became more vivid, the human mind became more complex. He learned to make meaning, to understand the symbol, and to extract meaning from the image. And this ability was the true beginning of thinking.
Dreams were, at first, only fleeting images, but gradually, the human mind realized that there was an invisible border between the waking world and the dream world, a border that was felt not by the eyes, but by the inside. At this border, man understood that reality was not an absolute thing. Whatever he saw outside could be recreated inside in a different way. And in the meantime, a new question formed in his mind. If I can live in a dream, isn't waking also a kind of dream? This question was the beginning of the philosophy of human introspection. From observing dreams, the mind of the first man realized that the world was not made only of stone, soil, and flesh, but it was also woven of thought, memory, fear, and meaning. On the border between sleep and wakefulness, he felt two kinds of self. One, the one that fights and survives in the outside world, and the other, the one that sees, fears, thinks within. And these two, together, made man. In the dream, man saw himself dying, but he would wake up and live. From this experience, the first thought of the immortal soul emerged. If I can die in my sleep and rise again, then perhaps death is another dream, he said to himself. Gradually, the boundary between the two worlds became a sacred bridge. When man went to sleep, it was as if he were crossing the earthly world and entering the world of spirits. And on his return, he brought his dreams with him as messages from the other side of existence. This understanding became the source of many rituals. Before going to sleep, people prayed, hoping to meet with sacred forces in their dreams. Early shamans and mystics, through meditation and herbal hallucinations, attempted to cross the threshold of waking life, to repeat the same dream experience, consciously, in the light of day. Thus, dreaming and waking became one in the human mind. He understood that both were manifestations of the same thing, a mind that sees and makes sense. And in this discovery lay the great secret. Man himself is the creator of two worlds, the world he lives in and the world he thinks in. With this realization, the human mind was forever changed. He was no longer just a natural being,
but a mental, symbol-making being. And this realization was the beginning of civilization, where thought, imagination, and meaning rose from the heart of dreams and shaped reality.